Alright everyone, so this is a demo of Battlespace Next. I'm Captain Michael Hastreiter and this is Lieutenant Matthew Douglas, and we're just going to be going forward and explaining the rules as we go and showing you our different strategies and just kind of going how a normal game would go with two students playing the game. So how does it start? What, we roll for who goes first?
Yes, we'll roll to see who goes first.
All right, let's go. Okay, so
roll a 5.
5's a pretty high number. I'm trying to get a 6. Okay, I got a 1, so you'll start.
All right, so I'll start first.
That means you get 4 supply tokens.
Correct.
Okay. And then I'll get 5 supply tokens to start out. Okay. So there's some advantage with starting out. So they give you an extra token if you're the second player. But, all right, Matthew.
And so you can kind of see my starting hand is a mix of ground and air assets. I have my forward operating base and my tanker to kind of enable my other ground and air units. Then I got an Abrams tank, infantry, and a B1 and a growler to kind of just start off my assets. So on my first turn, I'll go ahead and he won't know, but I'll go ahead and place my forward operating base and my infantry face down, and I'll pay my 4 resources, and the forward operating base I'll put in level 2 and the infantry in level 3.
Yep.
And I'll pass my turn.
Yep, and so that's just how you place them out there, and then when they're played, you can't use them on that turn. So the ones that he had just placed, like the rules I think talk about like a level 1 where it's like nothing can be done from level 1, it's like you're deploying the cards. But then he ends his turn, they immediately move up to where they're supposed to be. What makes something go to level 3? If you can...
It is if it has a defense option, so the ability to intercept, which will come into play when we actually have combat. But for instance, this one has a defense option for ground, so if a ground unit attacks, I can then intercept with this card.
So easy stuff. If it says DEF, like defense option, it's going to go in level 3, letting me know that, and reminding the player themselves that, hey, you have an option that could defend an attack. Okay. So he's ended his turn, and then now I'm going to show you all my hands. So here's my little plan here. We've got these cyber kill chain to gain access and then exploit. Okay, and then we've got taking advantage because we already have a combined space ops. Actually, every player starts out with these 3 cards out there: a cyber operations center, a combined space ops center that I showed before, and a multi-domain ops center. With 12 life, and when that is destroyed, the game is over. The other 2 are helper cards that can help get out like other cards, but for the most part, yeah, it's all about taking out that M-Doc. All right, so with that, I will start out by playing some cards. So I'm going to pay 1 to get this one out, 1 to get this one out, and 1 to get this one out. And so a lot of low-cost cards. One of the perks of a cyber strategy. Okay, and then I have 2 left. I think it wouldn't hurt to get this one out. Okay, this is a card I didn't show before, but that's after the cyber stuff goes on. And then I am out of money. I can't afford these 2 other cards. I'm only sitting at 2 money. And so then, before I end my turn, I move everything to its corresponding places. So they were all level 2 cards. So just keep them all grouped up there in level 2 there. Okay. And then, 1, level 2, level 3, and then what we do a roll of the die at the end of player 2's turn.
So we have this card called the Spectrum of Conflict that once everyone has taken a turn, that's a round, and after every round you roll a die to see how much the Spectrum of Conflict will rise. When it reaches above this threshold, kinetic strikes are allowed. Otherwise, when you're still in competition, no kinetic strikes can occur, and you are mostly doing cyber and information warfare.
Nice. All right. So there. I'll roll the die. I think second player always rolls, and so it's their job to remember. So a 5 is rolled, which corresponds to 3, and it starts at 1, correct?
Correct.
So we're already jumping pretty high up there and allowing you to perform your kinetic strategy. So now passing the turn to you.
All right, so new turn. I draw back up to 6 cards in my hand. And I will also get 4 resources for a new turn. And so this turn, I'll go ahead and play this card to enable some of my other strategy. And so I'll pay 2 for that. And then I'll also pay 2 for one of my other air cards. And so again, that was my turn. So I'll then look at my cards and see that goes on level 2, and that goes on level 3.
All right, very good. Okay, and in this turn, okay, so then for me, I'm going to first draw up. I'm only at 2 cards right here. So get another card. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm up to 4 more cards drawn. Okay, so total hand size of 6. Then I take 4 resource chips, and so I'm now at 6, and then I'm going to start playing out some goodness, and now I can actually use some of these effects. So I guess the first thing I want to do is pull out this scanning and fingerprinting. So I reveal that, and that's going to give +1 to worm attack attempts. And then, well, actually no. First, you would deploy, right? Yeah. I can't do any attacks or any traits of any cards until I deploy everything I want to deploy. So let's prepare to defend against what you've got. I will pay 3 for this asset to get out there, and call that good. And then I've got really no more money left, and yeah, I just kind of got to prepare for the future. So with that, now I'll move into, so I've deployed now, we're going to start using our assets. So now we do that. Scanning and fingerprinting is revealed, and so I'm able to have bonuses with my worm attack attempt, and then here is the worm itself, and it actually requires scanning and fingerprinting to be revealed and used. Then I'm going to try to gain access with the worm. So on a roll of 3 or higher, I get gained access. And I would discard on a failed roll if the opponent uses firewall for defense. Okay, so I'm gonna roll. All right, I rolled a 1, so it's been used, the worm's been used, but it failed to gain access. So no effect of making the opponent discard any cards at this point. And then, no gained access. So cards that would say, hey, require gain access, those would not take effect. All right, so that is everything that I planned on doing with that second turn. All right, you're up. Oh yes, thanks. Of course, yeah, gotta roll the die. That was a 4, which corresponds to a raise of 2. Still in this competition phase where we can use these cyber assets without worrying about kinetic attribution. All right.
All right, so I'll go ahead and gain my 4 resources for the turn, and I'll go ahead and draw 2 more cards to make 6. So I got that card, and I'm also drawing this card. Alright, so this turn I will go ahead and play some of my cyber defenses because I see he's starting to play some cyber cards. So I'll go ahead and play my redundant servers. And I'll go ahead and play my backups. And so those are 2 resources, and I'll put them in my level 1. And then I still have 2 more resources, so I'll end up playing another air asset.
Okay.
And so again, it's all my resources for turn. And because I still do have all kinetic assets that would take actions, I still can't do anything because we're in competition, not conflict. So I will go ahead and deploy my cards in their appropriate level, and then pass my turn.
All right. Now I'll gain 4 chips. Up to 7 now. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 cards, so I will draw 1 more. Here's my draw. Okay. And I think it's time to play out this card. Spending all 4. 4. And yeah, I should have put all of these ones in the level 2, so we'll just keep those there. They're not defenders, but they shouldn't be in level 1. They've already been deployed. Or this guy will be in level 2. And then finally, just to get more cards drawn for me in the future, I'm going to play these 2 cards out of my hand. I think there is an option to just discard cards, but we don't want to do that. We're going to play them out for their uses, and if they get killed, they get killed. But it allows us to draw more cards if we use up our money and play some cards. So those 2 cards will also play out there. The IO cards, you can't use them on their first turn, right? Like every card you can't use the first turn they're out, yeah. Okay. Cool, gave you a heads up. I got an information operations card coming your way. Okay, so that will be the end of there. Now I've deployed everything. Now it's the attacks and traits. So we're gonna try that worm again. We're gonna try it again, and hopefully 3 or higher. Actually, I only need a 2 or higher because I have that worm attacks are +1. Important thing to note. All right, I got the 2 or higher. So. It gains access to, so I'm considered gained access on you right now for all intents and purposes of other card requirements. And this ability is enemy discards 1 card per turn without looking during supply draws. So what does that mean? So at the start of your next turn, after you would draw?
Correct.
It's not like this, the couple cards you have left are discarded, but that's how that's going to work. The effect continues until this card is discarded. You can discard it on a firewall. So somewhere in that deck you got a firewall maybe, or maybe in your hand that you'll employ and get the worm out of there. But we'll just remember that, and then I'm going to end my turn moving all the level 1s to the level 2. And just for purposes of the camera, like being so small, I'm just going to keep them all in this level 2 section if they're face down. All right. Yeah, like overlaid.
Yeah.
Okay, lots of stuff is deployed. You won't see another card game like this where you have just tons of assets out there, but it's really not too complex. All right, so with that, finish my turn and roll for the Spectrum of Conflict to go up. It always goes up at least 1. I wonder if a future scenario could change it, but there's been a lot of talk about that. But we'll just move it up 2. A 3 corresponds to an up 2. And now we're at the conflict phase. And we may not even need this thing anymore. Like it's already going to be in conflict for the rest of the game. All right. So with that, now you can use your kinetic assets.
Yep. So I'll begin my turn. I'll go ahead and get my 4 resources. I will go ahead and draw my 3 cards, but because of the worm, I'll just give it a little shuffle, and I'll let Captain Halfstrider here pick a card for me to discard.
There you go. All right, so this is the one that was discarded. I don't get to see it, right? Like,
I mean, it's going to be my discard pile, so.
Oh, discards face up. Okay,
Yep.
that makes sense. I forgot that I do actually have a defense option on this guy and on this guy, but I don't think I'm going to be able to defend against your air assets. All right, so that's why I forgot.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and look at my cards available. I want to put this air asset out. It'll just be my level 1 though, because I can't use it this turn. But I will spend 3 resources there, and then I'll go ahead and move on to my kind of execution phase of my turn. So I will reveal some of my assets now so I can use them. So I'm revealing my forward operating base and tinker because I'm going to reveal my other attack assets, and the growler, and just the growler right now requires the refueler prerequisite.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. The infantry and the F-15, they don't require anything, but the growler does require that strato tanker.
So you can see on this card that it says rec, refueler, or carrier, or DABS.
Yep, and so you have the refueler right there. Did this guy need to be revealed, or you just revealed him just so you could defend things?
It did not, but it actually does have it says it has a defense option, but it cannot intercept.
So that's a weird one. It stays at level 2.
Yeah,
All
it
right.
stays in level 2.
Okay, so probably won't end up coming into play, but so now
Yeah.
you're able to attack with them right here. It's not their first time out there, or they've been out there for a while waiting. So I guess we'll start the engagement here.
Yep. So I know right now he's using some cyber cards, and so I'm going to go ahead and kind of direct my initial assault on his cyber operations center to kind of disable that.
Oh, interesting move. Okay.
Attack.
All right, I haven't seen this done yet.
I will go ahead and say I'm attacking with my Strike Eagle and my infantry on his Cyber Operations Center, because his Cyber Operations Center has 3 hit points, and combined the Strike Eagle and infantry deal 3 hit points.
Yeah, and
So-
it does slow down the game a little bit, but you're able to slow roll it too, unlike other games like Magic the Gathering, like some students may be familiar with, where you have to declare all attackers and then they declare all defenders. You could just say, I want to attack with this one first, see what happens before I send in my infantry. And then if I use a card to block the Strike Eagle, then I can't use that same card to block the infantry. As it stands, though, I'm thinking you're probably going to use the F-15 Strike Eagle first.
Correct,
And I don't really have anything that can defend against that. You guys can verify that for me, but yeah, nothing that can defend against that. And so that 2 damage is going to go right to me. We put 2 red tokens, put them on the M-Dock when that reaches, or no, not the M-Dock.
Cyber Operations, yeah.
When that reaches 3, Cyber Operations Center is gone. Each player begins the game with this card in their deployed area. If this card is destroyed, return it to your hand. If destroyed, all cyber assets lose their effects and must be re-rolled on the subsequent turn. Meaning this worm would have to be re-rolled. I would ungain my access to. Okay, so hitting that, and then you're going to use the infantry.
Correct, and then I'll use my infantry to, again, attack.
And
his
finish
Cyber
off the Cyber Operations Center. So before that happens, I intercept it with a striker, which on an attack, it needs a forward operating base or a DABS, but on defense, it doesn't have to, and it only needs a roll of 1 or higher to defend, so we don't even roll that. But there are some modifiers that could change that. Anyways, so the striker tries to intercept the infantry before getting to the Cyber Operations Center, and it succeeds, and 2 damage is dealt to the infantry, 1 damage is dealt to the striker. Unfortunately, poor infantry only has 1 health, and so the infantry is discarded.
And the striker remains on the battlefield with 1 damage marker.
Yeah, another difference from other traditional card games, but they keep their damage counters on them for the whole time until they're discarded.
And then so my Growler is just capable of attacking something in the air, so it cannot deal any damage to the operations centers, so I will not be doing anything with it this turn, and I will end my turn by deploying into level 3.
All right, cool. And then I'm going to, so I'll start, draw up 4, and then got 3 cards right here. We're going to draw up 3 more. 1, 2, 3. And then, with only 4 money, there's not much I can do. I think I'm going to just bring out this one for 4. And I'm going to keep that there, and then I will attack with the worm. Actually, the worm has already considered gained access, so we're good there. I'm anticipating the Cyber Operations Center is going to go down pretty soon. So we're going to use ransomware. We've already gained access. So on a roll of 2 or higher, they pay and discard half the enemy's hand on their next turn.
But with a little bit of foresight, I have played my backups, which is actually a -3 decrease to any rolls he tries with his ransomware, so I can reveal it, and its defense goes into play.
Very well done. So you guys are witnessing the good defense against the ransomware, which is the backups. So I need a 2 or higher. I'm going to roll 5, but I get a -3. That goes down to 2. Ransomware still works even with the backups. It's a concept of cybersecurity is like make sure your backups are also secure. So we've encrypted everything and we won't give it back until they pay. So discard on a failed reroll. Don't worry about that. And discard on a success. So it's going to be discarded either way. Discard on a failed reroll if backups are used in defense, which they were, and discard on a success. And so ransomware is getting discarded, but my opponent is going to discard half their hand and without looking. So
I'll let you pick 2 cards.
I'll just take these 2 and then move them face up. All right, and so there's that. And then now I'm going to reveal my little scheming. I have this advanced EHF that required the combined space operations center. Glad that's not damaged yet. And then I'm going to reveal this card, which required that advanced EHF. So this thing allowed this thing, which this thing allowed the USS Mississippi, which allows a cruise missile, which requires a cruise missile launcher. USS Mississippi is one of 3 or 4 cards that are missile launchers in the deck that we're working with. And now I'm going to attack with the cruise missile. So I just need a 1 or higher, and I think I will attack your MDoc. Maybe just focus in on that. And so I don't even need to roll, right? Like there's nothing. Whenever it says 1 or higher, it's don't need to roll. Unless something's going crazy. So 3 damage is done to your MDoc. That was kind of fast, but did we do everything correct there?
Yeah, I think so.
Got the 3 damage.
I have no options to intercept currently a missile, so there's nothing I can do about it.
Yep. All right, cool. So with that, I will end my turn, and then this sneaky card is going to go into as an intercepting thing. Okay, and then your turn.
All right. So I will go ahead and get my 4 resources for the turn. I will draw back up to my 6 cards. So we got some encryption there. We got an IO campaign. We got an F-35. And we got a backdoor Trojan. But his worm is still in effect, so I'll let him choose a card to discard at random.
I'll go middle. Okay, so this one gets discarded. Not a really powerful card. All right.
And then I will go ahead.
I have nothing that can defend your air assets.
I'll spend 3 to deploy my Abrams here, so I'll just go put that in level 1. And then I will go ahead and reveal my B1
Ooh.
bomber.
Wow, okay.
And I will go ahead and decide what I want to attack now. So I'll definitely use, I'll send my B1 bomber to attack his M-Dock because it deals 4 damage.
Yeah, you don't want to waste it on the cyber ops. That big of a payload. Okay, so you go to that, and now I can try to grab a defender out there. I bring out the F-22 Raptor to defend against that. And it is able to be played. It's not able to attack him, but it's able to intercept. I just need a refueler out here, but I don't have a refueler to really start attacking with the F-22 Raptor and get those others. But he attacked first, so he's in my air zone, and I can defend air. So I deal 2 damage to the B-1B Lancer. You cannot attack air with the bomber, so no damage is dealt to the F-22 Raptor, and that takes out the B-1B Lancer. All right, and then this guy's used up, so he can't engage any other air assets.
Okay, so after that, I will still try to use my F-15 to strike his Cyber Operations Center, so some of his cyber cards will become ineffective.
Yeah, and you deal 2 damage to it, and it only had 3, so it's gone. And then now I no longer have gained access. We'll just remember not to make that happen.
Goes back to your hand.
Goes back to my hand.
Yep.
Oh, thank you, yeah. Read it clearly. It needs to go back to my hand. And now I'm at 6 cards, so I won't be drawing a card this turn. Good play there. Okay.
So I think the rule PDF itself is a little ambiguous, but I believe the intent is the Cyber Operations Center goes back into your hand, and it has a deployment cost, and I believe you're supposed to play it again before you can actually use any of your cyber cards out on the field again.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. So it's going to cost me 2 before I'm able to use them again.
Yeah.
Thanks. Okay. Good stuff. All right.
And again, I believe that is...
Yep, you attacked with this one. This guy, probably not going to attack. This guy's got stealth anyways, so...
Yeah,
wouldn't
so
be able to
there's
hit it
a...
unless you have a detector of stealth.
Nothing really I can do, so I'll go ahead and pass my turn.
All right, cool.
And deploy.
All right, I'm not able to draw any more cards up. I do get 4 money, which I'm going to immediately use 2 because I want to keep the cyber stuff out there. Do I put it face down, or I'm gonna eventually? Yeah, we'll put it face down at the start just to follow the protocol. And then, so that means I wouldn't be able to use these.
Correct, until next turn.
Ah, okay. So taking out the cyber operations center, that's pretty useful to stop the worms. Okay. Next up, yeah, okay. So I think I will. You don't have any ground assets that I know of. No, you do. You have a way to intercept that. We'll just stick with the cruise missile. So I'll attack with the cruise missile. It costs 1 for each time I use it again. So when it's first played out, it's good, but then you have to pay 1 every single time again. So that's going to cost 1 to fire another cruise missile. Those things are expensive. I'm putting it over there for 3 damage. Does it work?
Yes.
All right, 3 damage there. And then the F-22 Raptor can't attack, so I'm done there. And I'm a little wary to attack with this guy because I see that you have a way to defend, I think.
So it can't
intercept?
Yeah.
Well, then I will attack and just be wary of this thing, maybe that thing, and attack. But I'm going to attack your M-Dock with the Striker. No, I actually can't. I can't attack. I can only defend. I just realized. Because
yeah, you don't have
my only way to attack is cruise missiles. Okay, so then with that, I end my turn. This guy goes up here, and you all know what it is going to be. You're up.
All right. So I'll get 4 resources for turn. Draw back up. Getting actually a card he had earlier. And maritime asset. And I don't have to discard this time since his he has lost all of his access and everything that goes with it.
Yeah. I really lucked out to draw that F-22 Raptor.
Yeah.
I was very lucky. Man, my M-Doc would